Let me tell you how God works. So I have kids in 2 different schools. I'll explain it at a later date. My kindergartner and my first grader go to 2 different schools. Typically, it's a pretty amazing experience for all parties involved until the schools schedule events on the same day. So this particular day, my son had a field trip planned and my daughter had a parent lunch scheduled at the same exact time on the same exact day. So me being the super mom that I am and having that good old mom guilt and not wanting to miss anything that my kids had going on and try and be present for anything that they have going on, I had coordinated like down to the second making both events, but it was going to be at the expense of my son's allotted field trip time. Like he was going to miss half of his field trip so that we could do both. Because honestly, the last thing that I want to do is to make my kids feel like I couldn't show up for them. Like for them to not have me in the room and everybody else's parent is there. Like been there, felt that, like don't want to do that to my kids. So if I have the opportunity to show up for them, I'm going to try to show up. So it wasn't a work conflict. It was both schools are having something at the same time conflict. And let me preface this because I do have a village, but the village can't always village when you need them to village. Like there are some times where you're going to get a no across the board. And this particular time, I was getting a no across the board. People had to work. Other parents weren't available. So it's just, as a mom, sometimes you just have to make a way. The mothers will make a way. And I was determined to make a way for my kids. Okay, so I had made a plan in my head, minute by minute, second by second, of how I was going to execute the day. I was going to drop both kids off at school, go pick the other kid up, take him to his field trip, leave the field trip with him, go see my daughter, and then go back to his field trip, and then go pick my daughter up from school. It was all, but the way the plan was minute by minute, second by second. I woke up in the morning with so much anxiety in my soul. I was going to give the day all I had. I was going to do as much as I possibly could. When I woke up with all that anxiety, I was like, bro, I just have to, at this point, I just have to give it to God, and I'm just going to do the best that I can with the day. So I prayed about it. I let him know. Well, he already knew what was going on. Duh, he's God. I prayed about it and then started executing the day. So I dropped both kids off at school. I dropped my son off. Then I dropped my daughter off. And then I went back to his school, picked him up. Then I took him to his field trip. We went and got our entry bands and was getting ready to go to my daughter's lunch. As we're getting in the car, a mom who I had connected with last school year saw us in passing and recognized us and was like, hey, where are you guys going? Like, are you not going to go to the field trip? And I'm just like, we're going. I just have a lot on my plate and I have to go do something else for my daughter. And she was like, oh, well, do you want me to just take him to the field trip and then you could just catch up with us? It was so simple for her, but for me, like, I don't even think she realized how much of a load she took off of me when she showed that much kindness. Jace was ecstatic. I was ecstatic. Got to go to my daughter's lunch and not rush back nor feel guilty that he was going to miss half of his field trip that we had already paid and prepped for. And that just showed, like, just trusting him and just doing the best that I could do with what I was given. He handled the rest. And that's not the first time. That's the umpteenth time. But I just had to come and share because the things that we go through in silence, He already knows what we're dealing with, and he's just waiting for you to pass it to him and declare a thing, and he will make it happen. And he keeps making it happen for me over and over and over and over again. And I can't thank him enough.